In a small, forgotten corner of Israel, a boy named Gideon was born into the tribe of Manasseh. From an early age, Gideon was known for his timid nature. He was not the tallest nor the strongest, and often felt overshadowed by his older brothers. His village was under constant threat from the Midianites, and each season, when crops were ready for harvest, these oppressors would descend like locusts, taking everything the people had worked so hard for. Gideon, though young, often heard the whispers of defeat in the village. The people had lost faith in themselves and in many ways in their God. As a child, Gideon would spend hours alone in the field, often questioning why his people suffer so much. He didn't feel like a hero. He didn't see himself as someone God would ever use. In fact, when his friends would talk about great warriors of Israel's past, Joshua, Moses, and even Samson, Gideon would quietly disappear, not wanting to be reminded of how insignificant he felt. But in those lonely fields, Gideon often heard a whisper. It wasn't the wind, though it sounded like it. It was gentle but clear. "You are stronger than you know, Gideon," the voice would always say. He would brush it off, thinking it was just imagination, a child's way of coping with fear. One particular night, when Gideon was no older than 12, something strange happened. He was walking back home with his sheep when he encountered a wild beast. Terrified, he froze, feeling the weight of his weakness pressing down on him. The beast moved closer, and Gideon knew he had no chance. But in that moment of fear, the same whisper came again, this time louder. "Stand and face your fear." Despite his trembling body, Gideon picked up a small stone from the ground. His hands were shaking, and the stone seemed far too small to defend himself. But the voice persisted. "Trust." In a moment of sheer instinct, Gideon threw the stone. It struck the beast on its head, and to his astonishment, the beast fell. He stood there, panting, shocked that such a small act of courage had saved his life. Though this event passed quickly, it lingered in Gideon's memory as he grew older. Still, even with the moment, he saw himself as someone not worthy of leading, let alone be used by God. Years later, when he was older, the Midianites' oppression worsened. One day, as Gideon was secretly threshing wheat in the wide press to eat, an angel appeared to him. "The Lord is with you, mighty warrior," the angel said. Gideon, still unsure of his worth, laughed bitterly. "Me, a warrior? I am the weakest in my family, and my family is the weakest of the tribe. How can I be a warrior?" But the angel's voice was as steady as the one Gideon has heard all those years. "You will save Israel from the hands of the Midian. I will be with you." Gideon's heart was torn with fear and faith. He asked for signs, doubting his strength. He tested God multiple times, asking for miracles to confirm his calling. God, in his mercy, provided them. Slowly, the whisper that Gideon had heard since childhood grew louder. In his heart, he realized that it wasn't about his strength or qualification. It was about God's power working through him. When the time came for battle, Gideon was ready, but still afraid. He gathered a massive army, thinking he would need numbers to win. But God had different plans. He whittled Gideon's army down from 1,000 to just 300 men, making it clear that the victory would be through divine intervention and not human strength. Armed with nothing more than trumpets, torches, and jars, Gideon led a small band of warriors against the vast Midian army. They blew their trumpets, smashed their jars, and held their torches high. In the confusion, the enemies turned on each other, and Israel was saved. Gideon, the once timid boy who hid in the field, became the hero of his people. The story of Gideon is not just about military victory. It is a tale of inner transformation. Gideon's journey from self-doubt to faith, from weakness to strength, shows that God often chooses the most unlikely people to do extraordinary things. He doesn't call the qualified, but qualifies the called. Gideon's life teaches us that even in our weakest moments, God sees potential in us than we often overlook in ourselves. He shows that courage isn't the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward despite it.